Hello and welcome back to another brand new video. This time we'll be looking at Nvidia control panel. Now Nvidia control panel gives you a few extra features that you can change on your graphics card for either better quality graphics or better performance. So it's really important to change these settings to get the maximum performance out of your brand new card without making your games look like they were released in 1999. So for those who don't know how to access Nvidia control panel, all you have to do is right click on your desktop and click on Nvidia control panel option. If you don't see this option after you right click on your desktop, well then that means you have to reinstall your Nvidia graphics card drivers. So once you open up Nvidia control panel, you will be greeted with this rotating Nvidia logo, and if you don't see it, all you have to do is go to your left side panel and click on adjust image settings with preview. And by default it will be set to use the third option, which is use my preference emphasizing quality option. What you need to do is make sure you click on the middle option, which is called use the advanced 3D image settings, because this option will give us more control over exactly what features that we can change. So once you have selected that, click on apply and let it apply. And after you done that, go to the left hand side panel again and click on manage 3D settings, and in there you will see a whole bunch of options that you can change from. I will go these options one by one and giving a brief explanation and telling you my preferred setting for each of those options. Let's start off with image sharpening. Now this is something that won't affect your game performance at all. It's kind of like a personal preference. I personally keeping this on these settings. I don't really change it that much. These are the default settings. And yeah, ambient occlusion is a really important graphics setting which can sometimes use a lot of GPU processing power. So if you have a lower end graphics card, I recommend putting this to off or keeping it on performance. Don't ever go to quality option if you have a lower end card like a GTX 1050. So I personally keep it on performance, because ambient occlusion is not that noticeable in today's games for some reason. I don't know. So keeping it on performance gives you some ambient occlusion effect, but it's low quality, so it won't really affect the performance that much. Anisotropic filtering, I keep this at 8x. It's another option that doesn't really affect the performance, but if you go to something like higher, like 16x, then you can see a few drops of frames. So I recommend keeping it somewhere around 2-4 if you have a lower end card, and 8x if you are on a mid end card. And FXAA, keep this on, and all of these anti-aliasing setting you can change on a game by game basis by going to games option menu. So I recommend keeping this on. Gamma correction, keep it on. Anti-aliasing mode, now this option I recommend I'd say keep it on application controlled. Anti-aliasing transparency, make sure you select this to multi-sample. It'll give you better performance than using super sampling anti-aliasing. DSR factors, I recommend keeping that off. It's something that will allow you to use higher resolution on a 1080p monitor. So for example, you can run games on 4K and then downscale it back to 1080p to give better anti-aliasing and better image sharpening for your games. But if you're on this video, that means you need to improve performance, not decrease it, because if you turn this on, you'll be losing a lot of performance. So I recommend keeping this off. Low latency mode, make sure that's off. Max frame rate, keep that off. And MFAA, keep that on. I'm really not sure if all the games support MFAA, but it's better to keep it on because some games do support it and it will give you a bit more performance. Now power management is also another really important option. Make sure you have selected this on prefer maximum performance. Now as you can see, the default option is optimal power, which means the graphics card will try to save power by reducing its performance which results in a poor performance on games. So make sure you change this setting to prefer maximum performance to get the most out of your graphics card. Now if by default your power option is on optimal power and you change it to maximum performance, you will see a really big difference in performance just by changing that option. Okay, let's move on. Shader cache, keep that on. Texture filtering, negative LOD bias, make sure you put that to allow. I don't know why mine is on clamp, but by default it should be allowed, so make sure it stays allowed. Texture filtering quality, this is another option that you can change the quality of that effect. So I'm on a so I've selected quality option. You can go from high quality performance to high performance. So if you want super duper performance, then obviously select the high performance option, but then that texture filtering won't be as good as, let's say, if it was on high quality option. So it's something that you can check it out, but I personally, on my GTX 1060, I keep it on quality option. It doesn't really affect that much performance. So even if you have like a GTX 1050, I'd still recommend keeping it on quality. Texture filtering, trilinear optimization, yeah, turn this on. It'll give you a bit more performance as well. And threaded optimization, make sure this is on, especially if you have something like an i5 or an i7 CPU. Triple buffering, make sure that's on as well. Vertical sync, it's better to just let the game handle that part. Virtual reality pre-rendered frames, it doesn't really matter to us because we are not focusing on VR right now. So those are all the settings that you need to change. Once you've done that, click on apply and then let it apply. There we go, and let's see. Yep. So as you can see, all the settings are applied. Now we will go to surround and physics options. Physics settings, make sure it doesn't really matter. So if you have a low CPU and a high-end GPU, make sure you select GPU as your physics processor. If you have a lower end GPU and a higher end CPU, make sure you select the CPU as your physics processor. So there's that. I just select auto select, and that's basically it for 3D settings. All the other options are just basic options that you can change, color settings, and all that stuff. I'm not gonna go into those in this video. So the main thing that I wanted to show you guys was these options right here. So hopefully changing these options have given you a bit more performance on your system, and if it did, make sure to like, and if it didn't, well, too bad, guess I'm getting a dislike. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want more videos like this. I will see you in the next one.